G'day, JB, Jason Brown here from Team Dynamic Discs and Disconnection. Just wanting to give you a bit of an update on what is in my bag, my trolley, for this season. I do have a bit of travelling planned for the year, so I want to go interstate at least a couple of times, if not 3 or 4 times. So I probably won't be taking the transit cart this year to each location. You can take these along, you can pull them apart and put them into a separate suitcase, but I would rather just take a carry-on and have my other gear in one suitcase, make it a little bit simpler for me. So my Combat Ranger, the Blue Skulls Combat Ranger, is the bag of choice for me. It does come with a rainfly, or you can buy a rainfly for the Combat Ranger, so you can be sure that you are covered for any circumstances with the weather being different on the other side of the country. It doesn't carry as many discs as what my transit cart does. So generally with my transit cart, I'm using that for as many circumstances, as many contingencies as I can think of, and it consists of with the wind discs, rollers, forehand discs, backhand discs, you name it. This year I have been struggling with a bit of a shoulder injury. It has restricted my ability to throw forehands and to throw forehand rollers. So I've had to change up what I have in my bag, and I've had to change up what I'm using a little bit because of that restriction. So hopefully that will come good and will get better as time goes on. But for the time being, I'm having to teach myself some backhand rollers and some backhand turnover shots. So my bag will reflect that to some degree, and what I take with me to travel will affect that as well. So we'll have a look at what I carry in the transit card, and then we will talk about what I will then transfer into the Combat Ranger for the trip when I go interstate. So I'll start off at the bottom end, I guess, as most people do. Let's talk putters. I've been using the Westside Shield for years now. Still find it to be a really reliable putter. It will tell you if you haven't thrown it and haven't committed to the putt, because it doesn't have a great amount of glide to it. So you're not having to judge glide. The glide will take care of itself, particularly if you throw it at the right speed. So BT hard, I just like the feel of that. It's a little bit more consistent coming out of my hand. Long putts outside the circle 2 putts, and turnover approaches, I have the EMAC Judge medium. This is just a beautiful straight putter. It goes straight for long distances, and I can trust it to do that. So when I've got long putts that I want to just try and keep on the right track, I will go with, and I want a little bit of extra glide so I don't have to throw it real hard. This is the putter that I go to. So that's my long putts, outside the circle putts, turnover approaches, and then just my normal inside edge of the circle putts with the shield. Clearly, these are 2 discs that will obviously go straight into the Combat Ranger to travel with me on every particular occasion. So they're straight into the Combat Ranger. My third putter is the Megasoft Shield. Okay, so it is a fantastic putter. Just to give you a little bit of confidence on those really slopey, death putt type situations where you just want to lob it up to the basket. You don't want to see things go too far past or roll or get up and do any of that sort of stuff. So this again has been with me for a very, very long time. The old Megasoft Shield. I wish they brought the Megasoft plastic back. I think it's a super, super handy plastic to have. Just to have one of these. For those Australians who know, Poimina in Tasmania has some just terrible, terrible slopes. I'm basically putting with this all the time. Great putter to use in the wet weather as well, because you've got some nice grip. You don't slip with this. So again, that's a really handy putter to have. Again, that's going straight into the bag for the traveling. I have a Westside Ice, Lucid Ice or VIP Ice putter for throwing. So that is my straight throwing putter. And again, super reliable. Really enjoy using that on the longer 50 to 60 meter approaches and that sort of stuff. It gives me a nice straight flight, reasonably overstable without being too overstable. So that's a really reliable putter as well. So again, I will likely take all 3 of those or all 4 of those. They will go straight into the bag for traveling. Next to coming along, I do have a putter that I use for wind in super windy conditions. It's the Socky Bomb Slammer, or the Dynamic Disc Slammer. Again, this is something I can really rely on in the wind to be something that will hold and won't tend to rise too quickly. It's a low glide, two glide, so it does tend to hold in those super windy conditions. And I'm still rocking the Lucid X culprit, the Chris Clemens. Welcome back, Clemonade, to DD. I'm still using the Clemonade culprit, and this is, again, super reliable, overstable throwing disc. So 4 speed, a little bit quicker than the putters. But again, just just a nice, overstable, controllable sort of disc that I can use and trust and rely upon. One of the things that I tend to do when I am traveling away is look at making sure I've got the stability to cover any conditions. I don't want to be stuck with just a bunch of understable discs, because chances are you'll come out to a course in the other side of the country somewhere and it will be a super windy, stormy day, something like that, and you just don't have the discs in your bag to cover that. So the first thing that I would do is I would always be looking at making sure I've got my my overstable stuff covered. I want to make sure I've got those. So there's a little bit more overstable stuff there, and again, those 2 will go straight into the bag. Next up, we're getting a little bit more understable now. I usually carry 2 fuses with me. This is the Johnny McRae Opto X fuse, and this is just a regular gold ice fuse. This one's much more understable than this one. This one tends to stay a lot straighter. Super glidey though. Certainly if you throw them into a decent sort of wind though, you're going to get a fair bit of turnover in these. So with this, I'd probably only choose to take one of these 2 with me. And because I've got something that's reasonably straight in my bag at this point in time, I might just leave the understable fuse as the one to take with me, so that I do have something that's short that will turn over. I have a Lucid Ice Huck Lab Stamp EMAC Truth. This is straight. It's pretty new, so it's still straight to slightly overstable, 5502. Good long distance on these as well. Again, because I have something reasonably straight in my bag for traveling already with the Shield, and I do have a straight fairway driver, which we'll talk about shortly, this one probably won't go with me. What will go with me, though, is a Verdict. Okay, so here I've got a Fusion Verdict with my Masters Worlds JB1 Kenobi stamp on it. Again, a good, reliable, overstable mid that I can rely on to finish on a hyzer and be pretty reliable in a wind. So that's got to come with me. I then have a Justice. Everybody's got to have a Justice in their bag. So this is a Lucid Justice given to me by Johnny McRae. Shout out, Johnny. Thank you for this one. He, when I was over there at Masters Worlds a couple of years ago, I was throwing a whole heap of forehand rollers in my Justice, and he said, look, I think I've got another one of these which will be just like the one you've got, which would be good for a little bit of a backup. Sure enough, the one that I had started to lose its stability after a few years. I've put this one straight into the bag, and it does exactly what it did before. So forehand rollers, again, I'm not throwing very many of them anymore, but I do still throw a few little flick rollers to get myself out of trouble, and obviously super overstable approach disc as well. So again, great utility disc, great little roller disc. I still have to have one of these in my bag at all times just to get myself out of trouble. So that's got to go in. Mid-ranges, fairway drivers, understable. We're looking at the Lucid X Maverick. here, Zach Melton, Lucid X Maverick. I've had this one for a long time. Very slow turnover 7-speed. Really useful, again, in slightly windier conditions. It will be a little bit more of a controlled turnover for me. So, again, I don't really have anything to replicate that. That has to be a part of my bag. This is the other disc I was talking about as a super straight option, and that is the Jakub Semerad Brave. Grand Orbit, super straight, super reliable, super glidey. This is a great disc. I use this disc a lot, particularly on any tight sort of fairways and things like that. It just goes and goes, and it goes straight. So it's a fantastic disc. Again, this is the one that I will probably have. We'll have the Lucid Ice Shield, and then we'll go up to that if I've got something that's a little bit longer. Okay, I've got Protostamp Evader. So again, I need a reasonably reliable, overstable fairway, and this is it for me. So this will hold a great line for me. Nice hyzer line into a breeze, really reliable. So the Evader, the 7-speed Evader, Lucid, this is the prototype. This will go into the bag. Can't substitute that one. Go up to the 8-speeds now, and this is a new one for me. This is new in the bag from the end of last year, and that is the Motive 8-speed light. So this is only 149 grams. What I've found with this is it's a fantastic uphill disc. It's understable. It's a fantastic backhand roller disc. So I've found this to be a really useful disc to try and get my backhand rollers going. So again, it's my only backhand roller disc. Let's pop that one in. That's got to come with me as well. Next, understable turnover disc Hatchet. So the West Side Hatchet. This is a VIP, and this is super glidey, great longer turnover disc for me. It will turn over a little bit harder than the Maverick will as well. Again, this is one that I find will have to come with me on the travels. Prototype Vandal. Now this is fantastic, much longer disc than you think it is. Again, this is a Lucid. The prototypes seem to have a fantastic S to them as a 9-speed. I just find this to be a really comfortable disc to throw, and it's another one that I can't really sort of replicate, and one that I sort of need to make sure I take with me. Supreme Escape. This is probably, if I ever lost that Prototype Vandal, probably the disc that might replace it. A nice turnover, a little bit of fade at the end, nice and glidey. This is one that I probably wouldn't take with me just because the Vandal probably does the same job. I've got a Fusion Felon in here as well. So this would be my general sidearm disc, my sidearm fairway. And this one for me at the moment is probably putting too much pressure on my shoulder to really force something like this on a sidearm. So at the moment, it's not something for me that I can really use effectively. So this one is going to stay at home. I've been using the Treason lately, understable 10-speed disc, a driver. This is one that I haven't quite yet worked out completely. Certainly as a downwind bomber, it works pretty well. It will turn over and turn right into a headwind as well. So at the moment, because again, I haven't used it a lot, I'm not super familiar with it at this stage. I'm really interested in it because of the lack of sidearm. I think this might be a useful disc for me, but it's not a disc that I can rely on at this point in time. Haven't done enough testing with it, haven't enough throwing with it. So again, if it's not reliable for me at this stage, then it's probably not going to come with me on the trip. I've got a Fusion Sergeant Proto. This again, longer, slightly longer, 11-speed, pretty overstable. What I find with this is it's probably not quite as overstable as something like a Felon, but it will travel a little bit longer. Again, I generally use this mainly for sidearms, and because my sidearm really doesn't have that amount of power in it at this point in time, it's something that I don't think will come with me on my travels. What will travel with me is the 2 orbit swords that I carry. These are just great long distance, easy distance drivers. So you don't have to force them really, really hard. They are 12 speeds, but they just seem to glide and go and have a little bit of general sort of understability, a little bit of an S-curve to them that you can really send these without really putting a lot of real forceful pressure on them. This one's a little bit more understable, so this one will turn a little bit more. This one is a little bit straighter. They don't finish super hard either, so you can sort of set them down a fair way and know that they're not going to sort of hyzer out and take off. So these are 100% absolutely going to come with me every single time I go anywhere. I just must have those in my bag. Now, if I'm going to have a into the wind disc, at this stage, it's probably going to be a choice between the Socky Bomb General, or what is now the Supreme General, and or an Orbit Rive. So this is a Linus Carlson Orbit Rive, and Paddy Robinson gave me this one. He said this one's a little bit more overstable than most, so you can rely on one of these two to be the disc that maybe you need. Again, I probably wouldn't use it outside of the windiest of days. I would normally sort of maybe be using something like this for a forehand into the wind, and again, obviously that's not going to be happening, but I will normally find there's a little bit more distance out of these than these ones in general. So for this, I may or may not take one or the other. I will probably end up maybe just taking the Rive just as a backhand option to try and give me a little bit of distance if it's a really, really windy day. And the last of the discs that will come with me, there's 2 left. I do have a second sword. A third sword. This is a tournament ice sword. This one is a little bit more overstable than the regular swords that I have in my bag there. But probably when I'm traveling away, it's probably not overstable, reliably overstable enough for me to trust that. What will be reliably overstable is my Snowline Scandinavian Open Ballista. So this has again been traveling with me since about 2015. So it is a super reliable disc. It will give a little bit of turn into the wind and then some nice reliable fade at the end. Again, easy throwing. It's a 14 speed, but I don't know why, but it just seems easy to throw this and get good distance out of it. The only thing you would say is they are sometimes a little bit nose angle sensitive, but if you put it on the right angle, these things just go for miles and you can trust them into a reasonably strong headwind. So unless it's a super strong headwind, I would maybe pull out a Rive, but the next level down here would be the Ballista. Not a Ballista Pro, but a Ballista. So that is what my bag would look like for traveling. Now, what else needs to go with me into that bag? There's a lot of space in the top here. I'd obviously take my rain gear. I don't have that at the moment. My trusty Westside coin mini marker will be in there with me. I will always take my Repel sunscreen. I tell everybody about this all the time. It is an insect repellent plus sunscreen. It is made by the Cancer Council of WA. Get yourself some because it is not only a sunscreen but the best insect repellent I've ever used. I've never had issues. I go to Mundaring a lot, get the march flies, ticks, all sorts of things. Never have an issue if I've got this stuff on. Repel is such a good sunscreen / fly spray. As a Masters player, need to have some Panadol in here with me, some paracetamol, and I've got a dirt bag in here just for those days where it's a little bit wet, so that is likely to come along with me. Usually in the bottom here, I will carry a few extra little bits and pieces. Probably an extra towel might come with me, depending on the time of the year. I find that the hot hands, the hand warmers, are fantastic for keeping your hand not only warm but dry in wet conditions. So cold and wet conditions, if it's a wintry sort of time where I'm going off to a tournament, the hot hands will come with me. Normally I will have at least 1 or 2 Cliff Bars in with me as well, just as a little bit of a snack mid-round. And then when we come to this side, get some more Cliff Bars in here, some more towels. That's normally got my sunglasses in there, my sunglasses case. So that will be coming with me. And that is about it. So that is my bag, along with, obviously, a trusty water bottle. We need one of those to stay hydrated at all times. And depending on the weather, again, maybe an umbrella if I don't know anybody where I'm happen to be going. So that is my traveling bag. It's ready to go. These would probably end up going somewhere else. Usually that's probably more than enough, maybe a little bit too much for the carry-on baggage. So I normally put a couple of discs and a few spares in my luggage as well, just in case when I'm going away. But that tends to bring what I have down in my transit bag to a manageable amount in my Commander. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you would take, wouldn't take, whether you would have different discs, what you think about the idea of not compromising on stability. I make a point of making sure I've got enough overstable discs to deal with anything, along with my understables. Really keen to hear what your thoughts are on what my bag looks like, anything you'd like me to try. I'm looking forward to seeing some new molds coming out from DD in the coming year. I don't know exactly what they are going to be just yet, but I'm interested to see how those might play out and whether I can sort of throw a couple in the transit cart, test those out as well. Anyway, look, thanks for listening on. I will catch you all in the next video, or maybe I'll catch you on the other side of Australia sometime. All right, thanks guys. See ya.